Hey guys, it's Yogi here with some RaceRoom racing experience, and today we're going to be trying out the brand new 2015 ADAC GT Masters Pack. We are of course going to be driving the Bentley Continental GT3, and as you just saw, we are going to be racing at the Slovakia ring. The race that we're actually going to be doing is going to be against the AI. I believe there's 30 odd cars in it. We're starting in P15 and the race is going to last about 10 minutes long. And of course I'm going to talk about the handling of this Bentley as well whilst doing commentary on the racing. We're now underway off the rolling start and we're going to be taking a look to the outside of this BMW Z4 that is in front of us in towards turn 1, but wasn't quite able to find the room to make the move to stick around the outside. We're on the outside here of the Corvette, slipping past him as we bounce over the grass, almost making contact there with the Z4. Has moved across to the right and now being basically blocked by these two Z4s in front of us. Having to look into this very fast right-hander, but not quite being given the room and having to back out of that. That's gone, well, now up into 12 positions. So that's gained me a couple of places there in the first couple of turns. Could have been a couple more, however, wasn't quite able to make the move stick. The AI is set to 108% difficulty. As we've got the Z4 there on the right, having a little bit of a look at him on the exit of the right-handed hairpin there, but wasn't quite able to make that move stick. Now coming onto the brakes into this corner, actually making a lunge down the inside here. He's going to be on the outside. I'm on the inside, just going to hold this fairly tight line. Hopefully he's there. Yes, he is, somewhere on my left-hand side, giving him room there for that left-hander. And now coming into this very slow, I would say 90-degree left, but it seems to be a little bit more than that. It's very, very slow and quite tight as a late apex. It's almost like a double left-hander through that corner, but we managed to make the move stick. And we're now starting to close up onto the guys up in front of us. They looking a little bit racy and weren't quite able to basically carry the momentum through the corner. Actually get a much, much better exit than the Z4 here coming up through the exit of that corner. We're going to be on the outside here, going to tuck in behind him for the moment as we come and bounce over across the grass as we come up over the bridge. Once again going side by side. The power of the Bentley just pulling us alongside the BMW and now slipping up in front of him, as well as we now come down into the penultimate corner. It's a very, very long right-hander. Takes through about 110 degrees. So we go back towards the final turn now. There's the pit stop, pit entrance on the left, and now just coming through the final corner out onto the start-finish straight. So let's talk very briefly then about this Bentley and its handling. It's quite a big and heavy car. It's turbocharged V8. Puts out an awful lot of power, and you probably find that in a couple of places. You get heavy on the throttle, the wheel light the rear wheels up, so you have to be a little bit mindful of that. It does okay through the medium speed corners, but it's quite poor in terms of braking and basically the low speed corners due to its size and its weight. Its aero efficiency is reasonably decent. It's got quite a lot of mechanical grip, it's just not agile. Kind of feels like a big lumbering bus going around, so kind of similar to this Nissan GTR that we're right underneath the rear wing of in front of us, where it's just an absolute monster down the straights. Once it gets going, it's just through the corners. It's not too great. Now actually making the same move that we did on the Z4 in the last lap, trying to look down the inside. I actually did get tagged there by the Nissan on my outside as he came across midway through the corner. So I'm going to tuck in behind him for the moment as they're very, very slow through this left-hander here. Having to fight the car a little bit. Once again, looking to the inside as we come into this pretty fast left-hander here. Getting a very, very tight squeeze by the GTR in the apex of that corner. And now coming down into this braking zone of this second gear left-hander. The AI don't seem to be too great on the exit of this corner. You can see there just the drive that I get compared to the GTR, but it's coming back at me through this corner here. Once again going side by side as we come across up onto the top of the bridge here. We're looking over to see where that GTR is alongside myself, and now you got the power of the Bentley just really starting to kick in, and it's pulling away ahead of the Nissan as he's giving me a flash of his lights in the wing mirror that you can see on the right hand side of the car there. But yeah, I do believe that the GTR should be quicker than the Bentley in a straight line. It's just racing against the AI, they can give up a little bit easily in places here and there when going side by side. They will fight you and come back at you at various times, but once you do get in front, they do kind of tend to be a bit, oh, okay, you go ahead, sort of thing. So yeah, there wasn't really a true comparison between the two straight line monsters that are now in this game. So sound cut out momentarily there, but we have it and it's working fine. Apologies about that. But yeah, unusual driving position in this Bentley as well, as you can see. The Motec dash is really quite low down, so is the steering wheel. It's not high up on the dash like it is in other cars. The Bentley is very, very tall, and although it's probably not a too bad a position to be actually sat in driving, I can't really see the Motec display at all, not unless I want to lower the seating position and then make it even harder to see what's directly down just in front of me. It's quite hard to see over the dash of the Bentley, so it's very, very tall on the inside. So yeah, kind of a shame in that regard, but obviously that's how the real car is set up as well. It's the same in project cars. The steering wheel and the Motec display are in a very similar position, and it's not the best when you want to have a look at the information that is presented on the little dash there that sits behind the steering wheel. It can also be quite difficult for you guys to see the steering inputs that I'm actually putting in, because there's no like center line on the top of the steering wheel there to indicate where the central point of the steering wheel actually is. Instead you just get small glances at the you know, the stems of the steering wheel poking out from the center, going out to the actual rim of the wheel. But we're up in P9 and we've now got quite a nice slipstream on this SLS. Pulling out of that now as you come down towards turn 1. This is also another car that's going to have a very big engine and some very, very good straight line speed. I've got the inside for turn 1 though. He's going to be there on my outside there. You can see him. He's just was able to get on the power a little bit earlier than I was and take away my accelerating line. I had to just hesitate a little bit. Just gave him a slight advantage, and now coming here into this fast right-hander. Once again, I've had some experiences of AI basically chopping me mid-corner, making contact with the front of my car, and it just sends me into a spin. So I lifted off there, and he didn't really lift off at all, and just kind of carried the speed into the corner, maintained the position. So let's talk about the sound now of this Bentley. I'm actually going to be quiet for a moment, just so you guys can hear properly and get an idea of the sound in this car. So relatively quiet, just wanting to shift down a little bit too early. That's what the warning bleep was for. And yeah, relatively quiet car from the inside. You can hear an awful lot of turbo whine, same in the transmission as well. You hear that quite loudly. You can't really hear the exhaust note all too much. You can hear a few pops and crackles, which actually going to look to the inside of the SLS, coming into the penultimate corner here, having to bounce over the curb on the inside there to just try and make this move work. I believe I've got it pretty much done and dusted. There we go, just taking a glance into that rear view mirror to see that the SLS was behind me, and now actually got a pretty good slipstream on the R8 in front, so we're going to pick that up as we come down over the start finish straight now. See if we can pick up 7th position before turn 1, looking over to see where he is. See the driver inside the cockpit of the R8, and now I've got the inside line for turn 1. He's going to be there on my outside somewhere. There he is. Having a quick look over to see that we are side by side, accelerating out of the first turn now down towards turn 2, and it looks like that the Bentley has the legs over the R8 for the moment, and we've now got ourselves up into P7. So yeah, pretty good race so far with the AI, able to go door to door through a number of times. We just got over just over a minute in this race, so this will be the final lap of the race, and we've got a Bentley teammate in front of us there. But yeah, it's quite a nice, enjoyable car to drive. It's, like I was saying, it's quite big and quite heavy, so you will have to back out the throttle in some corners where you wouldn't have to do so in the lighter cars. Also, the braking zones are a fair bit longer. You carry a bit more speed down the straight, so you have to brake a little bit earlier as well. The brakes on this are okay. They're not fantastic. Nothing to kind of preach about, really. And I quite enjoy driving it. It's an awful lot of fun, an interesting challenge, especially against these AI. just seems to absolutely monster everything down the straight, so this track does kind of suit the Bentleys who come out very close towards the back of my teammate there. And there you can see lighting up the rear tyres as we come out the exit of that corner, having to fight the wheel a little bit. The oversteer is relatively easily manageable as we get very, very close to the back of the Bentley teammate in front of us, right up underneath the rear wing. This is the final corner, final lap, or should I say final two turns. So we're going to try and see if we can make the move down the inside coming into this braking zone. He's just about giving me enough racing room. Kind of picked up the curb on the inside, and I believe I should be able to make this move stick, which we do be able to do. And we're going to finish 6th position in this race, and the Bentley Continental GT3 car is quite nice. A lot of the other cars, in fact all the other cars in the ADAC 2015 pack are already existing in the game. It was only the Bentley Continental GT3 that was a new addition, but you obviously get a fair few new liveries for the other cars as well. So quite a nice little update. Personally, I would have liked to have seen a few more cars, maybe the new R8, and obviously there's no Lamborghini or Ferrari in RaceRoom. It would be nice to see those in there as well. But even still, nice little pack. Quite enjoyed the Bentley Continental GT3. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. I shall try and get back to you as soon as possible. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Hopefully I shall see you soon. Take care.